Okie doke, folks. It's time for more modern age Batman history, but as I said yesterday, this is going to be less about Batman history and more about greater comic book history. Now, James Donnelly recently did a video where he talked about like the two books that really set the tone for where the modern age was headed at the end of the 90s into the 2000s, and, you know, sort of set up the way we know comics today. And he cited Kingdom Come and Marvels. Now, those are excellent choices, and I can definitely see his argument for that. And by playing up this Batman arc as much as I'm going to in this video, I want to specify that I'm in no way trying to supersede his argument, because it is a very good one. I do agree that Kingdom Come and Marvels really sort of set the tone of quality and really set the bar high in terms of what comics we're going to be doing over the next several years. Now, this Batman arc, in my opinion, is equally important to that, however, not in the same way. While Kingdom Come is a statement of quality, this Batman story, while not, you know, without quality, is certainly just sort of, you know, popcorn. It's a really fun book to read. It's not anywhere near the caliber of something like Kingdom Come. But what it is a lightning rod into the industry, and it really put DC and Marvel in their place in what comic books could do, what you could do in regular continuity. And after this book came out, there was a lot of sort of drawing the line in the sand of writers and artists, like who's going to be exclusively DC, who's going to be exclusively Marvel. Long gone are the amalgam comics of, you know, where DC and Marvel would, you know, merge their universes and do these crazy team-ups and stuff. We still had JLA Avengers after this, but after that, that was basically it. And it's really important that that happened, because, you know, when you have an industry that's really driven by two companies, those companies really need to be in competition. And, you know, the Silver Age is the Silver Age because Marvel came out and gave DC a run for their money. And in my opinion, this issue of Batman really set the tone for sort of a teeny tiny mini Silver Age that we had basically from like 2002 to 2007. Dare I say, the Silver Age resurgence. I don't mean that in that the comics were like Silver Age books, but in terms of the quality, honestly, in my opinion, was really strong during those years. Basically from this Batman book up through the end of like 52 when that was wrapping up. Both DC and Marvel were really on the top of their game. They were really competitive, and they were putting out really spectacular books. Now, the gunshot that set off that race is Batman 608. And this is, of course, most of you know this story. It's Batman Hush, part 1 of 12. And you've got Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee on Hush. Jeff Loeb bringing his sort of long-term storytelling and noir sensibility that he brought with The Long Halloween and Dark Victory into this really great, you know, comic booky, popcorn, Jim Lee comic book art style, and the combination was just explosive. Now, there's not a whole lot about this story that I can really say that hasn't been said already, but it's important to note that this really had a lasting effect, because you've got Batman, who's, you know, years and years old in terms of his character. And you've got, you know, Batman 611 here, you know, way high digits. This isn't Batman #1, you know, this is Batman 611. And yet they just added this incredible story with this incredible artist to just the main title. And they brought Batman from a mediocre selling title to the Top Gun. And it really woke up, I think, both of the companies to what these characters were capable of, and really, in the same way that Year One, back in 404, way back when we started, sort of showed what just ongoing continuity could do and how hip comic books could be, this was certainly another one of those. Now, again, I'm not talking specifically in terms of quality here, but in terms of, or I should say storytelling quality, because like Year One and Kingdom Come, as I said, you know, very much on a different level than Batman Hush, but it brought a pop sensibility that really resonated with readers at the time. And of course you get that wonderful new Batman logo that, you know, is the old logo made new. During this time you had Dan Didio, who at this time would have been like a vice president editor at DC, really taking the reins, really sort of bringing his childhood to comics in our time and really trying to, you know, differentiate the DC brand from Marvel. And at the same time, of course, you have Joe Quesada doing the same thing over at Marvel itself, and both of those voices very distinct, you know, very much loved and hated nowadays in the comic book community, but you know, at the time they both really brought unique sensibilities to both of their companies and really upped their game. And all of that really came out of Hush, and all of that started way back here with 608. Now, I've just kind of gone through and shown the covers. The covers are a lot of fun, you know, I mean, the covers kind of speak for themselves. Jim Lee's artwork on this is just spectacular. I'm not going to talk a whole ton about the story, except to give just a very brief synopsis. Basically, you have this new villain in town. His name's Hush. He's a childhood friend of Bruce Wayne, and he takes all of the Rogues Gallery and pits them against the Caped Crusader, which is why in each of these issues, you get sort of a one-shot sort of episode with every major figure in the Batman universe. Now, I just went to see Batman Live the other day. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Batman Live. It's sort of like this arena, sort of circus-style stunt show. And it's kind of fun because you get the full Rogues Gallery in that. And, you know, while it sort of has this crazy circus, like, over-the-top aspect, it's still fun because you get the full gamut of everybody. It's sort of fun in the same way that, like, even like Batman the movie from the 60s is fun, because you got like all the villains under one roof, all out to get Batman. And those kinds of stories, while it's important to keep them few and far between, when you hit with them and you do it right, you get something that's really just a blast to read. And that's what we got here with Batman Hush. So anyway, again, in my opinion, there was a real reawakening of competition between DC and Marvel that kicked off with Batman Hush, and it really set the tone for what comics were going to be for probably about the next 5 years. Really showed what DC could do after them being in a very big slump, and really redefined sort of the editorial work that DC was doing, because again, you know, I mean, you've heard me whine for the last week straight about poor editorial decisions, and for the next several years worth of books that we're going to go over, you're not really going to hear me talk about that, because they really got a handle on things right around the time that Batman Hush hit, way back in December of 2002. So anyway, those are the books we're going to look at today. Hope you enjoyed my little Hush review, if you want to call it that, and I will be back with more Batman books tomorrow, as always. Thanks for watching.